Here's the invitation, verse 28. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, or yours might say who are weary. If you're worn out spiritually, if you feel like you're trying, but you never can arrive, you feel like you got pressure on you, you're in a pressure cooker, you're about to explode, come to me, all of you who are like that spiritually, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke, you might circle that word, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. So when Jesus uses the term yoke, that's the picture of the whole text. He's using it metaphorically. If you grew up on a farm, you know what a yoke is. It's a big, heavy wooden bar that you would stick over an animal and kind of steer the animal with it. In this context, he's talking about a dual yoke. So you've got two animals in a yoke. I had a picture of a yoke, but I didn't drop it in because I thought the cow looked too angry, and you would focus on the angry face of the cow and not the yoke. But you get the idea. It's something in which you put a stronger animal in with the weaker animal so that the weaker animal can benefit from the presence of the stronger animal. And Jesus is using this in a metaphorical sense to say there are really two ways of relating with God. When you boil it down to its basic premise, you can relate with God the way of the Pharisees and the religious leaders. That's a yoke, okay? And that yoke will make you spiritually exhausted. Or you can go this other way, and that's the yoke of Jesus, the way of Jesus. And Jesus says, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Now, he is speaking this invitation into the context of a group of people who have been dominated by religious teaching. Just think of it, they grew up in a church, and this is what their church taught them. If you want to please God, you better obey all the rules. If you want God to be happy with you, you better do this and not do that. And you better do it this way and not that way. And if you mess up at all, God's going to get you. How many of you maybe grew up in a church like that? Christian church? Hopefully not. But that's what they grew up in. That was the religious leaders. They taught the law, the Mosaic law, and they would massage nuances out of that Mosaic law. That the Mosaic law was hard, and they massaged it so that it was really, really hard. And they would use that as kind of like a bully pulpit. And as a result, they were enforcing those rules and regulations and traditions on a group of people, the Jewish people, to the point that they were just worn out spiritually. And they thought, if this is what I've got to do to know God, man, he's hard to please. And I'm really tired and worn out. And Jesus, it is to those individuals that Jesus gives this invitation. And he says to them, if you're worn out spiritually, come and yoke up with me.